discussed about staminate flower, that is having only male flower, the spistillate having only female flower, and hermaphrodite or bisexual, they are having both male and female. Now we'll discuss about cell division in organisms. Gametes are haploid, so they have to follow cell division to form gametes. When the plant body is already haploid, then they do mitotic division to form new individual. For example, in Monera, fungi, algae and bryophytes, the body is already haploid. So they do not need meiotic division to form haploid. They simply are having only one set of chromosomes. So they simply do mitosis. In diploid plant body, when these are having two sets of chromosome, like in pteridophytes, in gymnosperms, in angiosperms, they are generally not having haploid plant body. They are having two sets of chromosomes. So they have to divide two sets into one set. That is why they follow meiotic division. And most of the animals are also like this. They also have to do meiosis for the formation of haploid gamete. The cell which starts meiosis is called meiocyte. It can also be called gamete mother cell that follow meiosis to give rise to new gametes. So now this was the process of gamete formation. So it was called gametogenesis. Now we'll discuss about gamete transfer. For the gamete transfer, gamete have to be transferred from male part to the female part. In most of the individuals, male gametes are motile and female gametes are stationary, that means non-motile. This is the reason why the male gamete has to transfer to female gamete, and for this they need a medium for the movement. This type of process in plants is called pollination. We know that female gametes are stationary or fixed and male gametes are movable or motile. That is why they have to reach to the female body. And we know that all the male gametes cannot transfer from or cannot reach from male gametophyte to female gametophyte. All of them cannot reach. So that is why a large number of male gametes are formed to overcome this loss. At least few of them can reach to the female body. That is why a large number of them are formed. In angiosperms, like pollen grains are formed, and these pollen grains carry these male gametes and they reach to the ovule, or that is the female gamete formation area or location. So when the pollen grains are formed in the anther, they need to be transferred from the stamen to the stigma. So this process is done to the formation of zygote or the process of fertilization. It is very easy in monoecious plant. Why? Because both of the male anther and female stigma is present on the same flower. So it is easy for the anthers or the pollen grains to reach to the stigma. But in unisexual plants, it is very difficult process because they have to reach to the particular place, and the place may be far from the male part. But now, as we have discussed about gamete transfer, in gamete transfer we'll discuss about pollination in detail in second chapter. Here, hence we'll discuss about the second step, that is the fertilization. Fertilization is also called syngamy, that is the fusion of male and female gamete. And after the fusion, the zygote is formed, that is a diploid cell that results or are formed after syngamy, and it is the first cell for embryogenesis. In some individual, both of the parents are not required for the formation of zygote. This process is called parthenogenesis. When a new individual is formed without the female and male gametes, means it is formed by a female body only without fertilization. This is called parthenogenesis. For example, in honeybee, rotifers and in turkey, they do not need male gametes. They use only female gametes to form a new individual. That means they do not follow fertilization. Fertilization is of two types on the basis of location: external fertilization outside of the body, internal fertilization inside the body. External fertilization is seen in algae, fish and in some amphibians. Internal fertilization, that is inside the body, it is followed by reptiles, birds, mammals, angiosperms and also by humans. As we discussed earlier that fertilization is of two types, internal fertilization and external fertilization. Usually in terrestrial organisms, the fertilization is internal. That means it takes place inside the female body. In this process, the male gametes have to be motile, they have to reach to the female body, and when they fuse together, they form zygote, and after that, the individual fertilize inside the female body. Now we'll discuss about post-fertilization events. Students, we have discussed about pre-fertilization events, means before fertilization, and then we have discussed about fertilization events, that is the fusion of male and female gamete. Now at last we'll discuss about post-fertilization events, means after fertilization. This includes zygote formation and embryogenesis. Zygote, as we know, it is a diploid cell that is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes. And in external fertilization, this zygote is formed outside the body in an external medium. In internal fertilization, this is formed inside the body in internal medium. So the development of zygote depends whether they are formed outside the body or inside the body. It depends on surroundings. Means how will they develop? It all depends on the surroundings where they are now present. So the zygote does not develop immediately just after the fusion. It forms a thick wall around that to protect itself from enemies and from unfavorable condition. This wall is resistant to damage and desiccation. Now, when we discuss about importance of zygote, zygote is the vital link between two generations because it is the first cell of offspring body. This is why this continues the species formation and it actually transfers genetic information from one generation to the next generation. So at last we'll discuss about embryogenesis here. As we know that zygote is the first cell formed for embryogenesis. Now the process is started and the process of development of embryo from the zygote is called embryogenesis. For this embryo does mitotic cell division, means zygote starts mitotic cell division and after cellular differentiation they form whole body. But based on location of zygote, animals can be grouped into two categories, means where these zygotes are formed inside egg or without the formation of egg. When egg is formed in individuals, these are called egg laying or oviparous animals. When they do not need egg formation, they directly form that embryo. These are called viviparous individuals who give birth to young ones directly. In oviparous individuals, a hard calcareous shell is formed around that egg and these are the fertilized egg which hatch out young ones after a period of incubation. Means it takes some time and a particular temperature condition, for example in birds and reptiles, and then they give rise to or hatch out their young ones. In viviparous individuals, the development of the zygote into the young one takes place inside the female body without the formation of egg, and for this the young ones are directly delivered by the female body. In plants, these zygotes are formed inside ovules. These ovules after that are called seeds. For example, here there are two kinds of seeds, a dicot seeds and monocot seeds. In dicot seed, two cotyledons are present. Here they are having seed coat, the two cotyledons, and epicotyl, that is the region present as an outer covering of plumule, and hypocotyl, that is the lower region of embryonal axis, and the perisperm and outside covering is also present, and endosperm's nutritious layer is present. Now in monocots, all these things are same except that cotyledon, here only one cotyledon is present. Now after the formation of seed has to cross that unfavorable condition and it has to get dispersed by either animals or by birds. So for the dispersal of these seeds, fruits are formed. These fruits may be of two types, true fruits or false fruit, but generally fruits are having an outer covering called pericarp. Pericarp is formed by an outer exocarp, a middle fleshy mesocarp, and an internally hard endocarp, inside which this seed is get protected, and this seed, when this fruit is dispersed by animal, is used, then the seed comes out from this body, and when it gets favorable condition, it forms new seedling. So in post fertilization events, the pistil is now not of no use. The sepal and petals are of no use, so they fall off, and now the zygote becomes embryo, so they start embryo formation. Ovule now becomes seed, and then ovary becomes fruit, and now seed germinates when it gets favorable conditions, and then it forms a new plant. So this was about this first one chapter, the basic things related to reproduction in plants and animals. In second chapter, we'll discuss about sexual reproduction in flowering plants only. You have to revise this chapter properly. We'll discuss about question answers also from NCERT.